Welcome to another asynchronous discussion, and this time it's all about communicative styles. Communicative style is a form of language wherein a particular person, make use of the verbal and non-verbal communication depending on the situation and the person you are involved with. Like, you have a different language when you talk to your friends, but you cannot apply that language when you talk to a principal, or when you talk to your parents, or when you talk to your teacher, or to a doctor. So knowing the different communicative styles would allow you to become more sensitive on the situation, and you will know the words you are saying and even the action you are doing is appropriate for the situation and appropriate for the person involved with. Language register, or in the communicative style, be mindful on the three things. The first is the audience, second is the topic, and the third is the situation. Now, there are 5 communicative styles, and these are the intimate, consultative, casual, frozen, and the last is the formal. The intimate communicative style is more on, you make use of this communication when you are in front of the person you dearly love, like your parents or your best friend or your siblings. So you make use of the intimate register or communicative style, and you make use of the different slangs, the different nicknames, or the different pet names for that person, because again, you're comfortable with that person, and that from the word intimate, you have a close relationship with that person. Examples of this, just the husband and the wife, they are calling some endearment, or boyfriend and girlfriend when they are talking with each other, or the best friend you have there and you are talking with each other and you are just joking around, so that's an intimate conversation. The second one is the casual register, or the casual communicative style. And the casual communicative style is, there is a two-way communication between the two speakers, or 2 to 3 speakers, and mostly for the casual communicative style these are for friends, for acquaintances, and for co-workers. You use some slangs or contractions such as won't, I won't do that, or you make use of the vernacular grammar, and it's really non-formal communication. And sometimes people make use of off-color language, like some jokes, some green jokes in this casual register. It's a two-way street, it's a two-way communication, but not that intimate, because again, there's still a boundary, not that close with each other, like you are hugging or you are kissing, like that. So that's the casual register. The third communicative style is the consultative. And usually consultative is a person, it's still a two-way street or a two-way communication. We're asking for some knowledge to an expert or to a professional who has a specialized knowledge in this topic and who is offering some advice. So mostly in this register or in this communicative style, it should be full of respect. Now, what are examples of this? The examples could be a student consulting to a teacher, or a teacher consulting to a principal, or a patient consulting to a doctor, or a client consulting to an engineer or an architect. So that's a consultative register. For the fourth communicative style, you have the frozen communicative style. And unlike the 3 intimate, consultative, and casual communicative styles, that they are two-way communication between the listener and the speaker, for the frozen, it's just one-way communication, meaning the speaker is talking but there's no need for a response from the listener. So for the frozen, from the word frozen, the language should be fixed, and it's based on cultural and traditional or religious beliefs. So for example, for the cultural, you have the recitation of the preamble or the recitation of the panunumpa sa watawat. So the words are already fixed, And for the religious, for example, when there's a wedding, there's a script to read or a scripture to read all throughout the ceremony. So that's an example of the frozen. And the fifth communicative style is the formal communicative style. It's still one-way communication because the speaker again does not need to have a response from the listeners. Now for the formal, it's actually used in professional, academic, and legal settings. So you use complete sentences, you avoid slangs, you avoid some contractions that won't, shan't, or I'm, like that. How to do that? So instead of making use of the won't, you will say will not, or shan't, you say shall not, or instead of saying I'm Farah, you say I am Farah, like that. And some jargons can be used, such as a technical or academic vocabulary that needed to be used. And of course, in the formal setup, most of the time it's actually rehearsed and you need to prepare ahead of time before you speak in front of your audience. So a common example for that is when the pastor is saying the sermon, or a priest preaching a homily, or during a TED Talk, or the speeches, or when you have the speech of instructions, or when you delivered your anecdotal speech. Those are the examples of the formal communicative styles. So just remember the different communicative styles, and you need to apply appropriate verbal and non-verbal communication depending on the communicative style you were in. So remember the intimate, consultative, casual, frozen, and the formal communicative styles.